Those Damn Ross Kids is a podcast for adults, and the opinions we express do not reflect the opinions of our employers or even ourselves. If you would like to support the show, go to Duckfeed.tv/tipjar and check out our Patreon campaign.
I told you the one by my neighborhood. Didn't even know you can't order them. Should be able to. You're not allowed
Hey, Chris.
to get food from them directly. Yeah. You have to call it in. Yeah. Gas station at night. It should be 9 foot.
Hello.
That was a real tapestry of sound that we were working with there.
What was?
Oh no, just so did you move your computer by your by your laundry room?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in the basement now.
Yes, I moved the computer into the basement.
I gotcha. That was just
And so it's by the furnace, and obviously I had to turn the furnace off in order to record.
Yeah.
Which means that I'm fucking freezing.
Because you're in a basement that is unheated, and also the...
Well, no, it's heated. It's just the heater is not on.
Oh,
like I just told you. I was. This is how.
No, I was accurate though. The heater was off, so that was unheated.
Give him the heater.
Those Damn Ross Kids, a conversation between brothers, featuring Kris and Kole Ross.
But
so now I got a different heater here. I got a little space heater.
I gotcha. You got it all set up.
Putting out some white noise.
Yeah.
Forgive me if I nod off or if I start saying things like I'm in counseling.
I don't think the space heater will be a problem. That's filtered out usually by the setup here. If you had an actual white noise machine that had like buoy sounds and seagulls and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. No, during the between episodes break, I had to go down and find the package that was just delivered.
There was no note on the blip on your phone that said left in bushes?
No. It's pretty funny because every package carrier has a place where they put it, except for Amazon Logistics. USPS, they'll put it on top of the mailbox. UPS, they'll put it over on the porch that's off to the side of the front door. FedEx usually just leans it against the front door. I don't like that because it's very obvious that there's something waiting for me there. AMZL, which I think they just shout out the front door of the distribution facility and like at people who are driving and say, "Hey, you headed up to Cincinnati?" And they're like, "Okay, yeah."
Well, that's what it is. It's whatever Styrian has the money to run a truck that day, Cole.
Yep, I know,
and I don't mean that discriminatorily. I mean that literally.
It's whatever what has a truck.
Whatever Syrian has the money to buy or to rent a truck that day.
Right.
Because they are. That's what it is. I mean, isn't it that they're private drivers that just like rent box trucks and.
I think so. Usually, like in my neighborhood, it's been like somebody with a van or somebody with a car.
Okay.
And, like I will, I live at the end of a cul-de-sac and it's very quiet. If I hear something drive up that sounds bigger than a car, and I'm moving around, I'll go and look, and like, yeah, it's just like a Domino's driver gets out, runs up to my front door, and then leaves, and then my Echo makes a bloop. Like, oh, okay, I guess that was what it was. I guess that's what it was. But no, like they put stuff everywhere. Like I found stuff out behind the house before, which I appreciate the sentiment toward like not wanting stuff to be snagged. But
so I guess I don't understand the problem. Haven't you read Amazon's latest press?
No.
Commerce is not a transaction; it's an activity.
Yep. Well, what we want is to engage you in a playful back and forth.
Right.
Well, we think that we've made stuff too easy for you. So how about playing a hidden object game?
We've partnered with the NFL's Move 60 program.
This would be fine if it wasn't, 15 degrees outside too. So
we here at Amazon believe that everyone should spend 30 seconds a day cursing the sky.
I just want my HDMI switch. Yeah.
Hey, Skype said us too.
Why doesn't everybody curse the sky? Like, everybody just get out there and shake your fist. And I'm very displeased with this HDMI switcher because nowhere in the pictures did it make it seem like it would have like a bunch of blue writing on the top of it with the brand name saying 5x1 HDMI 2.0 switcher. It's heinously ugly, and I need to cover it with gaff tape or something so it doesn't stick out.
Okay.
I'm upset, Chris. I think it just everything about this entire experience has not risen to my expectations.
Cry to the heavens, Cole.
Yeah. I'm not just talking about this transaction. I'm talking about the last 30 years.
Well,
Rending of garments and gnashing of teeth is what I'm trying to communicate to you.
if country songs are to be believed, life is lived in 30-year chunks.
What?
There's a song called, I think something about my next 30 years.
Okay.
I'm going to watch my weight. I'm going to drink less. I'm going to stop doing so much swerve driving on road pop.
You don't want to swerve drive on road pop. Come on.
No.
That's a young man's game.
Young man.
Are you just going to sing YMCA now?
I had thought about it. And I thought better of it.
Okay, cool.
I said, Chris, you're better than that.
Yeah. You just see if Cole can see which direction you're fainting. You don't want to go that way.
Very stable genius.
Very incredibly stable genius.
Super stable.
The best.
Like some of the most stable substances. Like perhaps uranium.
Uranium 1. The
Uranium
real Russia
9.
collusion. Everything is awful.
What are we doing? I don't even know. This is just...
I
have no will.
Literally no idea. I feel like I don't have any bones. I just clicked on a banner ad. Okay, that's where I'm at. That's where my head is at.
With so many wills in the world, I have little will. Will Smith, Will Arnett, Will Defoe.
So I'm not gonna say the name of the watch. You can probably do a Google search and figure this out. The banner ad that I clicked on because it looked interesting and distinctive. It is a watch that has only one hand. Okay.
Jim Abbott.
What?
He was a one-handed baseball pitcher. One-armed, I think, actually. He had a stub.
Oh, and then he went to drum for Def Leppard.
No, he was just Jim Abbott.
Huh. Yeah, it has one hand and it has all 24 hours of a day on it. And it's one hand that moves slowly around. They're $300.
Right around there.
It starts with 0 at the bottom, climbs to 12 at the top,
Mm-hmm.
goes around to 23, and then it gets back to 0.
There's got to be a story.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to keep this open because I'm more angry than I am curious at this point. Yeah. Hey, Chris, what episode is this?
This is episode number 219 of the comedy podcast, Those Damn Ross Kids.
Your name is?
I am Chris.
My name is Cole, and we're here to entertain your asses.
Yay, us and your asses.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of tabs. I got a lot of tabs open, Chris.
I do too. I just want to start with this one short one.
Okay.
I've read a lot about Subway having some issues lately. Because their franchisees they don't want to sell a sub for $5 anymore, and people are kind of over it.
They haven't it's been
that, and they put one every 500 feet.
Yeah. And every quarter they have a stick fight. They bring all of them together in the local either hockey or roller rink. Give them bats with nails, and all the franchisees have to duke it out. Whoever walks away gets to keep their franchise.
Basically, yeah. They fucking Hanseled and Greteled their way across the country, across the globe.
Just trying to find their way back. Yeah,
a path to bankruptcy.
Yeah, it's been like 4 months since I've gone to a Subway. I can't remember
longer than that. The kid threw it up. She's sworn off of it.
I gotcha. Yeah, well that'll do it. Yeah, but like I haven't seen like a $5 sub in years.
They got them.
Huh.
$4.99 now. They actually lowered them a penny.
Yeah,
that's gonna bring you back.
Like the $5 footlong was like a thing for when I was in college.
You know what you need? Queso.
Oh, Subway queso.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was probably the original recipe that Chipotle used. Did you try that garbage?
No.
Oh, the first recipe that Chipotle used was, it was just gross.
Did they pull a Domino's and say, "Hey, our queso doesn't suck anymore," or was it more of a quiet thing?
I mean, honestly, it tasted like space queso.
Wait a minute. This is like all the queso came from a meteor that landed in the desert?
No, like space ice cream or space pizza.
Oh, okay.
Like it tasted like it was reconstituted.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, and that its base may have been some ranch powder.
What?
Yeah, it was gross.
Yeah. Qdoba queso is fine. I don't like that on a burrito, honestly. I think that a burrito is messy enough. But like Qdoba like has done queso for years, and they've got it. They're also not like a massive chain or anything. No, like queso is something that you want to get like at a sit down restaurant. Like they bring out a big hot bowl of it, and then you scoop it up. I don't the fast casual queso. No.
Yeah. So I guess you have to look at the vehicle by which the food is delivered. And have you watched the Chappelle specials on
Netflix?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, in the new one, and one of the new ones, he talks about a book called Pimp by an old pimp named Iceberg Slim.
That's a good pimp name.
Right?
Yeah.
And so the book, I guess that in the little Wikipedia thing, it says it basically just describes the smells, sounds, fears, and petty triumphs of the world of the street pimp. Okay. So in the stand-up special, and Chappelle references this book, and there's a glossary of terms, and one of the terms is mileage. It's something to the effect of like mileage on a hoe, or mileage on a trick, or something to that effect.
Okay, and I imagine it's not something as like practical as like, oh, this is how far they had to go to accomplish the, like physically, like, oh, we needed to go like 5 blocks up.
No, it's one of the core competencies of pimping, I guess, is the ability to be able to look at a bitch, right from the start, and know how many tricks she has in her before she'll break.
Oh, that is incredibly sad. Okay.
So Chappelle turns it, you know what I mean? And by the time when you think about it, you know, we all have that melting point, right?
Right.
And so I guess what I'm looking, you just mentioned Qdoba and all these people in the burrito space.
Right.
You know, there is mileage on a hoe, you know. We are going to get tired of burritos.
Oh yeah,
we are going to get tired of subs from Subway.
Yeah.
You know, if you decide to venture into the tubed food market, you need to understand that there is mileage on a hoe.
You make hay while the sun is out. Like, sun is not always going to shine on the Chipotle kingdom, you know?
No, it's not.
Yeah. You know, and like guess what? Up comes gyro or shawarma or whatever, right? Like you get a little bit of that Middle Eastern heat. All of a sudden, you see Aladdin's eateries everywhere. Okay, fine. Like I like myself a spiced lamb and beef kebab. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you know, like it reaches that saturation point. The savvy businessman gets in early and then dips, sells off right before it gets as popular as it's going to be.
Right. And then there's that theory that you could maybe like squeeze a few more tricks out of a hoe if maybe you medicated her.
Oh, Jesus.
But the reality is that, you know, if she wasn't like treatment resistant, mentally ill, she wouldn't be there. So I guess what I'm saying is that adding queso to your repertoire or taking a penny off of your price is not really going to do much, you know?
No, it's not going to move the needle.
It's not going to medicate that hoe.
Right. Huh. Yeah, I mean, like, it's one of those things. Like, Burger King has been in this stage for a while, is the thing. Like, well, why don't we just, fuck it, let's just put hot dogs on. Like, oh, you're obviously, like, in a lot of trouble. Like, same thing with Arby's. And Arby's has kind of turned it into a brand. Like, oh, like, we're just going to serve venison today. Fuck it. But, like...
whatever we find outside.
Yep. Whatever arrives in a box.
Whatever the manager hits on the way.
It's not from corporate. It's just a mysterious package with pre-sliced meat. Yeah.
I called.
What?
Nothing. I called this ostrich.
But you know, there's a certain flailing quality to a lot of those decisions, right? And like Chipotle,
no, they cook them.
Chipotle, you know, has some food safety concerns, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, we've got tofu, we have chorizo, we have queso, and it's like, oh no, that way lies madness, my friend. Yeah. Oh well.
Well, I don't know.
It makes
I guess if I was Subway, the people they haven't gone after, and I hate to keep bringing this back to race,
Jesus.
but I'm seriously the African American community.
I mean, so how could they better serve them?
Well, they could talk about the amount of stuff that you get on the sub, and they could get some wrapper, and they could talk about stacks on stacks on stacks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or Michelle Obama could lecture me some more about lettuce.
See, that's the thing, though. You know, you're at a good Subway when they have spinach instead of just that iceberg shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Ghetto Subway.
At the front of the Walmart.
Ugh.
No good. No good at all. Yeah. There's a story that initially brought to this, though. Like, it wasn't just about queso. You mentioned queso, and we went on one of our patented fast food digressions. What was the story that you were bringing here?
I wasn't.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that was just me. That was my spit and flow.
I got
that was the fire, Cole.
That was the fire. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Burger King is owned by a British company. Did you know that? That's probably why they're so bad at it.
Yeah, I could see that. They're called Hungry Jacks in Australia.
Yeah. So it's not, you know, they're not doing well.
No.
Trying to do too many things. You know, they're not living by the Swanson.
No. I think that, you know, that makes me appreciate the wisdom of the Five Guys, you know. This is what we have. Their toppings. Go nuts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
And what I think is you get a bunch of carpetbaggers rolling in saying, "Hey, you know what you have? It's working here. It's working pretty good. Why don't we take this and turn it around and make it way too complicated to appeal to different people?" And then you lose a little bit of what's at the core, you know.
I guess.
Yeah.
Could you open a Five Guys that was also a strip club, like a male strip club?
Oh, and only employ 5 guys? One for each day of the week. It's not open on weekends?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or you could just call it Greasy Sack.
So here's my social anxiety.
Because that's how I look at Five Guys. It's like, it's just, here is what you want.
Here's your greasy sack of shit.
We're not going to, we are not going to try to put queso or spinach on it.
Right.
You know, there is no aspiration in this bag. It's essentially what you're saying. Right. You're saying, here is your defeat. How many would you like?
Well, and it's broadcasted to the entire world. You know, I will admit, I have been lazy enough to use one of those food ordering apps to have somebody bring me Five Guys. And it's like, okay, you know, I'm looking at the I'm looking at the app, you know, watching his little pin move on the map. Like, okay, he's a little bit away. I know this is a couple of minutes behind, so I'm going to be out at front, and I'm going to have my own bag, okay, my own opaque bag, because guess what? A Five Guys bag is always going to be soaked through the grease. I'm not going to walk from the roadside back to my house carrying this broadcast of my shame. No, here is an opaque bag. I walk out to the car. No, don't worry. Don't get up. I'm fine. And then I put it in the bag and I say, thank you. I've tipped through the app. and then I walk back with my shame hidden. Okay.
Well, the only way that entire story could get more shame filled is if you didn't have a bag of your own, the bottom broke out, and you were caught on all fours eating their fries out of the snow. So, I guess my point is that given the amount of mileage on your hoe ass, in the shame category, good call. Good call. Well done.
See, the thing is that that was a joke. I have ordered Five Guys through an app. I have not actually worried about the opaque bag, although I have thought like that would be something they could sell to make some money. Like, oh, we're going to give you the greasy bag, the greasy sack, right? But if you walk in here with your $3 patented shame bag, then you're going to get like 5% off, and then they put everything in there. It's basically like a thermos lunch sack almost kind of thing. Yeah.
The good news about that is that you go in there and you get that food, and it's more expensive than another place, Yeah. It's not like there's a dollar menu there.
Right. You're not walking out of a Five Guys for less than like $12.
Right. And that's not a problem. And it's not even like that it's artisanal. It's not like it's there's some sort of in fact, I think one could argue that eating in a Five Guys is traumatic.
What do you mean?
Just it's just there's no, you're paying more for a product that is without an excuse,
without embellishment.
Yeah, but even moreover than that, it is you. There are a few times when souls are laid to bare. Maybe perhaps on a deathbed, in a confessional, at the end of a marriage.
When you hit rock bottom. Yeah, exactly.
Then people who walk into Five Guys,
mm-hmm.
You're at the end. You're done. That's it. There's no more pretending.
No,
you committed those war crimes,
and you're going to answer for them one by one.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I don't think somebody should feel bad. I think it's really strange to eat inside of a restaurant.
Why? Because of all those people?
Oh God, yeah. No, you walk into a restaurant, and you get your food, and then you walk out. Then you go to your car and you go home and you eat it there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to walk into a restaurant and you're going to put down napkins, and you're going to sit there, and they're going to call your number, and you're going to go up there and hey, this is mine, thanks. Then you're going to grab a cup of vinegar and sit down and eat it with people surrounded by peanuts and stuff.
What? Yes. Why would you do that?
Ugh.
So I did hear a comment today on news.
Okay.
And the comment was, it was some knockoff Cornell West guy. And he was saying that Donald Trump was the most racist president since Ronald Reagan.
Okay.
And I've never heard about Reagan's racist stuff. It's always the economic portion or the
right.
His aversion to walls.
Yeah, so Reagan was definitely the guy who fired off and put out there the idea of the welfare queen. I think was his major rhetorical contribution to that, and then just in general cutting back on assistance and stuff like that, disproportionately damaged people who were in already precarious financial situations like that. That I think would be the argument. But you're right. You definitely more hear about the economic side of stuff, right?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah, you just don't put it together like that.
It said that he attracted voters through racially coded appeals that allowed them to avoid admitting they were attracted by the racist appeals. So he kind of hinted at it, I guess. I don't know. I think I need to look.
Lee Atwater Southern strategy kind of stuff.
He said he stood at the head of a reactionary movement that undid some of the material gains of the civil rights and Black Power movements.
Right.
And activism.
I mean, his whole thing was like a proto MAGA kind of thing. It's Morning in America, stuff like that. We're to go back to when it was good, and then not really saying when it was good, except for letting people fill in their blanks there.
Yeah, the war on drugs, I guess.
Yeah. Fucking stuff up in Central and South America.
The
Yeah.
crack epidemic, the war, yeah.
Yeah. Mandatory minimum, stuff like that. Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just don't usually like see that. It's a little bit of a reach, because after the shithole comment, anchors are more comfortable saying shithole on the air, which is very funny. And this is dated because this is coming out like a month after those statements were made. So understand how this is kind of baked in. But like it took that. I'm serious. Like just time is dilated. Stuff that happened a week ago feels like it happened a month ago, and stuff that happened a month ago feels like it happened a year ago, right? But like it took that instance for anchors to feel comfortable, like not just saying like, oh, this is racially charged, or it's this is an appeal to racist ideas. For people sitting behind desks in front of cameras to say like, oh, this dog hella racist is the thing, right? So it's very strange to hear that kind of emboldened stance, like, okay, we're going to call the current president racist, and then immediately like start like backmasking and saying he was racist and he was racist and he was racist, regardless of if you feel it's true. It's just very like that is strange. It is strange to hear it come out.
It is. It is odd things. I don't know. Yeah. It's remember Patrick Bateman from American Psycho?
Yes.
Either the movie or
the book.
The book by Bret Easton Ellis. So he says, when I see a woman, there's two things that I think. First one is what it'd be like to take her out, show her a good time, be nice to her. And the other is what her head would look like on a stick.
Right.
Do you think that when Trump looks at a woman, he thinks, two things, pussy or shithole?
Jesus. Maybe. I don't know. I can't even project myself into his mindset as a joke is the problem.
I can.
Yeah.
You just have to take yourself way too seriously.
No, I already do that.
Mm-hmm. Try harder.
You got a story, Chris?
I do. So the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission and Procter & Gamble are teaming up using NFL superstar tight end for the Patriots, Rob Gronkowski, who is pleading with kids in an advertising campaign to use Tide Pods for washing, not eating.
Yes.
And I know we've talked about this before.
Oh, we absolutely have. We talked about...
We didn't talk about this. We talked about the fact that they look like candy and little kids were eating them, and that, people with dementia.
Yeah. Dementia was the bigger problem.
Yeah. And so now I guess there's this thing called a Tide Pod Challenge.
Yeah.
Teenagers are apparently being filmed putting laundry detergent pods in their mouths.
Right.
And putting it on YouTube.
It's a meme. It's definitely a meme that has popped up in the new year. And it had been an idea for a while that like, oh, Tide Pods are this forbidden fruit kind of thing. And, just saying like, oh, you want to eat them, but you mustn't. And leaning into, and then the meme kind of transformed into like, oh, here are recipes that you can use with Tide Pods. That's not actually that bad, et cetera, et cetera. And I guess it's up to the point where people are basically committing suicide on camera. And
Tide Pods, Tide Pod Challenge.
and it takes a noted footballman to tell them not to do that.
Whenever you want a Tide Pod, just go to Five Guys.
Yep. I've seen recipes of like how to make something that looks like a Tide Pod. Like, just like bake it as like a confection kind of thing. But I don't think these people who are doing the Tide Pod Challenge on YouTube are doing that. But yeah, it's I had a tweet a while back. It's like, oh, it says a lot that the first meme of 2018 is eating Tide Pods. Like we just all want it to end. I still think that's true.
Yeah, they've had 40. The the Centers for Poison Control has had 40 cases related to Tide Pods so far in this young year.
In this very, very, we're 2 weeks into this year.
4 a day, essentially. Well, 3 point something.
Yeah. And I think that people think that Tide Pods just have soap in them, which is completely inaccurate. You know, like, oh, soap tastes gross, but whatever. Like, I can do this for no, detergent is meant to destroy living things. It is meant to be as caustic as possible without damaging your shit.
Oh no, not the Tide Pod.
I went blind. It was Lifebuoy Tide Pods.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, but like detergent. Yeah, I was reading like a list of symptoms because the meme was funny for a moment. I looked like what actually happens if you would eat a Tide Pod, and it's like, oh, you get anything from like an upset stomach to like if it breaks on the way down, it will completely strip all of the soft tissue off of your throat, and you end up choking on your own blood. People will become like catatonic. From eating it, like they'll go unresponsive or enter into like a psychotic episode because it just kind of fucks with their chemistry. Like it's no good. It's not just like, oh, this tastes nasty. It's a thing. But yeah, a noted footballman has to come out and say, hey kids, if you want to be like me, if you want to go to the Super Bowl and then to Disneyland, don't eat this Tide Pod, no matter how delicious it looks, no matter how fruit-like, how candy-like it looks.
Don't do it.
How yielding it is in your hand.
What you should do is start one of these internet companies like they do with underwear and t-shirts and shit, only for really, really like these like new age sweaters, like, that are not so heavy, but you get the sweater look, but you don't get the overheating.
Right.
And you have a gnome that's really, really angry that all the sweaters are now so stylish, but that they don't have to include the bulk anymore. And he's always cursing the brand for stealing his bulky yarns.
What?
Like what have you done with my Lucky Charms? Only what have you done with my bulky yarns?
I'm sorry, man. I like that. Like normally, the long walk does something to make up for how bad some of those are. No,
yeah,
you really whiffed it on that one, man.
Okay, we'll cut it out then.
No, I'm not going to cut it out. I think you need to sit in that shame. I think you need to sit there holding that Five Guys bag.
What about meat drapes?
What?
Meat drapes.
Okay. Like beef curtains? Like, what are you?
I don't know, Cole.
Are you just saying words now?
I don't think these carbon monoxide detectors work.
No. I think that I think you have a gas leak.
I do. I'm going to turn this thing off. I think that there may be some fumes on that heater that I just. I do not feel normal.
Yeah, I did leave a Tide Pod on top of the space heater.
I'm serious. I don't feel normal.
No, do you need to go?
No, I don't think so. I turned it off.
All right.
Oh my God.
No, I'm sorry. Do you want water? Do you need to lay down?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
It's like cooked spray paint dust or something.
Yeah. Huh.
All right. Anyway,
yeah, people are eating Tide Pods. It's very funny to get an official brand response to a meme.
And they got one.
Yeah.
And a tight end.
Yep. That's a valuable position on the football field, on the old gridiron.
It is. It's becoming more and more valuable.
I mean, just the passing game is ridiculous. You want to make sure you can rely on them,
Yeah.
But tight end runs on, grabs the passes, right?
Were you admitted to a hospital this morning?
No.
Did you inadvertently witness an episode of SportsCenter?
Well, like you've got the wide receiver who usually goes out for the long passes, right? And the tight end is somebody who is more in kind of the midfield, right? Like for like a short spike. The thing is, oftentimes like a defensively, like a safety is usually the star player on the defensive. They're on those wide receivers. Like a tight end, you're not really looking for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all accurate to the best of my knowledge.
So the thing is, right? Like I am not despite what people may think, I'm not like a little sports ball kind of person. I'm just indifferent to sports. I can talk about them. Like I know a little bit about football. I just don't care. Yeah.
What if we delve into the realm of meat drapes?
Why do you keep saying meat drapes?
I don't know. I saw a hoodie and an advertisement on the side of the screen that looked like meat.
Oh, okay. And it didn't just say meat drapes on the front of it?
No. I just thought about using that fabric to make curtains.
Okay.
Meat drapes.
I've got a story for you here.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't quite know the order to tell you the story, but we're gonna
top to bottom, left to right, bud.
Top to bottom, left to right. The inverted pyramid is the thing. So this is from. I'm trying to determine where it's at, because the site is the NZ Herald. So I don't know if it's New Zealand or what, and I don't recognize any of the place names. So this may be. Like Auckland. So this is a story from New Zealand. Okay. This is a story about a shooting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In a town called Hamilton. All right. So you have a 23-year-old woman, whose name is Tiffany Sutcliffe, and she is hanging around with her lifelong friend, a 40-year-old Mr. Williamson. Okay. Is his name, Williamson. Like, hey, we're just over here, and Mr. Williamson got shot. He was shot in this story. That's why this is in the news. Okay, so got a summary of some facts here. Okay, they're over at this house, and their friend Anthony Clegg brings along a gun, and those are rare in New Zealand. Okay. I also should have realized this was foreign, because somebody dialed 111 to get it over here. And Tiffany Sutcliffe used Mr. Clegg's gun to shoot Mr. Williamson. Okay, she concealed the gun in some in a sweater, and then moved the body. Called 111, saying like, "Hey, this is fucked up." She pleaded to manslaughter. Okay, so. The victim's last words were, "Of course it's loaded, you stupid slut." Okay, this is in the news. That's actually the headline. Shot man's last words: "Of course it's loaded, you stupid slut." I don't say that word lightly. It's just part of the story. And this
slut,
is a very,
you mean?
Yeah. This is just a very bizarre story, regardless. So I'm just going to read this directly. On the night of the incident, Sutcliffe, her girlfriend, and Clegg had been drinking and taking the drug GHB, and withdrew to the bedroom for sex when they were disturbed by Mr. Williamson, who was holding the gun, according to the summary. As he played around with the weapon, Sutcliffe took it from him and pointed it from 2 meters away. This is a quote from the summary of the incident. She asked if it was loaded and almost immediately pulled the trigger. He told her it was. Of course it's loaded. And then he fell. Okay, so they are on dance party drugs. They've got a gun. They've never seen one in their lives. Don't know if it's loaded. Asked the question, is this loaded? Pulled the trigger, and then down he goes. I'm pretty sure there is some malpractice here, she said. So she's filing a countersuit. Because she doesn't feel like she's responsible for the death. I'm pretty sure there's some malpractice here. My bro died because you fucked around getting here, she said about the emergency response. So
it's on you.
Yep, it's on you.
How do you sleep at night?
Of course it's loaded. You fucked around. My bro is dead because you fucked around getting here. 111. Come on.
There's some accountability to be had here, but not on my end.
No. I mean, my culpability begins and ends with that trigger pull, okay?
Yeah.
I asked the question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's an argument for everything.
Yeah.
Jared Fogle, the spokes guy, the old spokes guy for Subway.
Back to this again, okay.
Yeah, I just have to come back to it. He's trying to get out of jail, get out of prison.
Right.
And he's being his own legal counsel.
Oh, geez. Yeah. That's always a good one.
He's made some arguments that they're calling convoluted for sure.
Okay.
He claims that the judge who accepted his guilty plea didn't have jurisdiction. So when I went into court and said, "Yep, I did it," the person I said it to, he was not, I guess, qualified to listen to it.
Okay. He shouldn't have been in that room.
He claims he shouldn't have been charged with conspiracy because it doesn't apply to his crime of distributing child porn. And that he shouldn't have even been allowed to plead guilty to traveling in interstate commerce to have sex with minors because, dude, I never even left the state to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So then that's the last one. It's not interstate because I never left the state to do so.
I never took this dick across state lines.
Right. That is the that is the biggest enemy to due process. That right there.
What do you mean?
The people who try to use due process like this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like okay, well, we're trying to do this right, but then somebody turns around and says, "But nuh-uh."
Nuh-uh. Your foot was over the line.
This isn't Nom, Jared. We have rules.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't use the rules for evil, bud.
Yeah.
Stop.
What a dingus.
Is it dingus on dingus?
What a dingus. Hey, Chris, you got a story?
I do. So you know how Goodwill is a for-profit thing?
Yeah.
I think some people don't know that you know, the CEO, creator guy of Goodwill, whatever.
It's real uncomfortable if you look at the particulars of the way they operate.
Right.
Yeah, they pretty much they make a lot of their money on the backs of like hiring mentally disabled people and the elderly and just not paying them.
Well, the pretense of charity.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's not. Anyway, so they take people's garbage, they sell it, and they use a compromised, potentially slave wage crew of people to be able to administer the people's garbage, right?
Right.
All right. So I guess January 1, China decided that they were not going to accept foreign garbage anymore.
Okay.
There were 24 kinds of waste that apparently they just been gobbling up over the past few decades.
It's like salvage. Like, oh,
they ain't want none no mo. So they're not taking any more mixed paper, no plastic that is used in bottles and bags, and brought in higher standards for any kind of metal that they may take in.
Right.
They announced it back in July of 2017, and most of these Chinese waste companies stopped taking waste like months ago. But us, the rest of the world, Britain,
we need a place for that
really
to go.
Get ready. Yeah, exactly. So that means that we're now, because China's not taking our garbage anymore, we're sending recycling to landfills and storing it in warehouses until, they can find a place to send it.
So China said, we're not going to throw this away for you anymore.
Basically.
Yeah.
And then, there was a quick cut to Newman saying, the mail doesn't stop, Jerry.
Right.
So I guess China used to take around half of the world's exports of recycled paper, plastic, and metals. Mm-hmm. Turns out that India and Indonesia and Thailand are still taking our garbage.
I was going to say Indonesia would be the place the next place for that to go.
Yeah. So the thing is, and this is the most profound part of this story, is that China's move will hopefully reduce the amount of trash being produced, quote, by some economic guy who likes the planet. He says, what's happened is that the final link in the supply chain has turned around and said, no, we're not going to take this poor quality stuff anymore. Keep it for yourself.
Right. You figure out what to do with it.
Right. So what if we took Goodwill out of the equation?
Okay.
Where does my garbage? Where do I go?
Right. I
And
mean,
so, with all the criticism that Goodwill has faced because of the lack of transparency in what they're doing and the exploitive nature of their workforce, take them out, and then you tell me what you do.
well, you throw it away. You throw it all away.
But ultimately, then you have recycling going into landfills.
Right. I mean, it all gets buried. It all gets buried under Springfield, and they have to move Springfield.
It's needed.
Like
Thrift stores are needed.
But it's just a waiting room. It is an incubator for trash. Like you say, all right, I've got 2 boxes here in my house. One is where the trash goes, and the other is where stuff goes when the box gets full up. I take it down to a thrift store, right? I take it down to the Goodwill, throw it in literally a dumpster, and then there it begins its magical metamorphosis from being a thing that was once in my house to being trash. Like it's like a pound rescue. If somebody doesn't come along and rescue this clock radio, then it becomes trash.
I thought all they did in that dumpster was put packing tape on things that Goo Gone couldn't even hope to try to scrub off. But it's needed. And China has laughed, and just like Goodwill has laughed for the past 3 decades. Mm-hmm. Sure, we'll gobble your garbage.
Yeah.
We'll make it into, 3 billion people, and we'll all do stuff together.
Right.
Against the world.
Of course.
We're going to become an economic giant by taking your garbage.
Yeah.
Our buildings will be built with your old whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm concerned about what this means for fleece pullovers and blankets. Because most of the fleece that we use is actually like recycled bottles and shit.
Cole, what will kids fall on the playground?
I don't know.
Does this mean we're gonna have to get our own tire shredders?
I would not even begin to know. I wouldn't begin to know.
I don't know. Can you imagine the guy that drives the shit barge from here to there? Like, what are you doing?
What's he gonna do? Driving a shit barge is all he knows. Well, he's going to be replaced with an automated system, so that's fine.
Probably that makes sense.
Yeah.
Zip line
seems like the way to go. Yeah.
So yeah, they don't want our garbage anymore. Keep it for yourself.
Yeah, send it over here.
We will not be your last link.
Nope. I've got a story that should be concerning.
Mm-hmm.
This is from the Institute for Marine Mammal Studies. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that dolphins have jobs? That dolphins are smart, and dolphins are enlisted to help clean up their own tanks. Okay, this is a story that was shared in the Slack. So what happens is, dolphins in certain situations, if they bring up a piece of litter, they'll get some fish. And that incentive loop gets them doing it more. Well, there's one particular dolphin who should be, again, concerning for us all. Dolphin named Kelly, who has figured out that it doesn't matter what size piece of litter she takes up the top, she still gets the same amount of fish. Okay. So what she has done is saying like, hey, I'm going to delay gratification, and that should be let's just put some horns around that. We're going to delay gratification, gonna hide some of this litter down at the bottom of the tank under a rock, and whenever I want to fish, when I'm hungry, I'm gonna tear off a small little piece of it, take it up to the top, and then get some fish. So this one piece of garbage that would have gotten me a piece of fish, I turned into 6 pieces of garbage that gave me 6 times as much fish. Okay, so already pretty big problem, right?
No, I'm good with it.
There's the other thing, okay? At one point, a bird landed in the pool, I guess like a seagull or something. And Kelly the dolphin grabbed it, took it to the trainers, and received like a bunch of fish because I guess this bird that was there would shit and stuff and be a problem. Like, oh, let's reward this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then Kelly figured this out. Oh, a bird equals a lot of fish. So what Kelly did was next time she got some fish, she took it to the took it to the bottom, put it under the same rock with her other litter. And then when she wanted a bunch of fish, she took the old fish up and then left at the top, waited for a bird to come down and eat it, grabbed the bird and took it and got way more fish. This dolphin is the Bernie Madoff running a juice racket in jail of dolphins. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a straight up gangsta racketeering dolphin who is going to destroy us all one day.
The wolf of that tank.
This has been Those Damn Ross Kids.
Hey, Chris, let me tell them what they can do.
Please.
Yeah. Tell friends about the show. We the only way that we can grow is by word of mouth. So if you get a chance, help us expand our listening pool. Share things with them. Otherwise, follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Those Damn Ross Kids, and Patreon at patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv. I forgot the URL there for a moment. Hey, Chris, am I forgetting anything?
You got it. I'm going to go get some fresh air.
Yeah, go feel better. Sorry, America.
Sorry.